Welcome to the How to Import and Export training video. My name is Henrik and I'm joined today by my colleague Tim. Hello Tim.
Hey.
So why use import and export? Well, import if you get data from other sources than the usual ones like trias and lab scanners, if you need backup recovery, or if you add a DICOM data to an existing case. Also as concerns export, if you need to generate output in the correct format, or you need to send only the relevant data to other parties, or if you need to prepare the design for manufacturing. So what you'll learn in this video is how to import an ortho system case, how to import a DICOM to a case, tell the difference and purpose of the various export options, and manually create a patient case and append to it. But enough about the preliminaries, let's have a look how it works in the ortho system. Okay Tim, so we're now in Ortho Analyzer and I can see we have the patient manager open. So why don't you tell us how it works?
Sure. If we look here in the top bar here, then we can see an import option. So let's try clicking that. When we import entire cases, there's only one option, and that is to import our own proprietary format called FreeSC. And what that contains is everything. So that would be both the geometry and will also be all the metadata contained in the case. So right now, as you can see, we're looking for these FreeSC
Very
files.
easy. So everything in one file.
Exactly.
Easy. Yep.
So we have a file here we could choose. So we will click on that and then press open. And then the system will start initiate the import. But first we get the option to cancel. But let's go along with the import. Now the system has correctly detected that this case is in fact already inside the patient manager.
Yeah.
So now we get three options. We could cancel the entire import,
Yep.
or we could choose to append the model cases inside this case to the existing patient.
Yep.
Or we could choose to create an entirely new patient.
Yep.
I think we should try to create a new patient, so we will click this option here. It's possible to set up the system to generate a patient ID. There are two fields that are mandatory, the first name and the last name, so let's type them in here. We'll just call them import demo.
Yep.
And then we will press create. This case contains three model sets. So here we could...
so you can select?
Yeah, you can pick and choose between the ones you want to include in the import. Let's just choose all of them, and then we will press OK. And then it will begin on the import. And a few seconds later, we can see that it is now appeared down here with the correct first and last name. And if we open, then we can see that the model sets that we chose to import are still here.
Yep.
So that's how the import of entire cases with all metadata works.
Okay, perfect.
Now I think we should try to make a new patient and append a model set that we import from scratch. So let's try that. So let's start by making a new patient. So we can call this one, we can call it Scratch Imports.
You're very inventive with the names here.
Yeah, but still can't hit the right buttons.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So we will press create here.
Yep.
So now we just created an empty patient. Now I think we should try to append a model set and a DICOM to that.
Okay.
And we do that on this new model set button here.
Okay.
These buttons out here, you could choose to say I only have the maxillary or the mandibular, but let's try to import both of them. We need to give it a model set ID for it to work.
Yep.
So we will type that one in and then we will press create here. Now it automatically gives us the option to import the data. It is partly automated. As you can see here, we could go in manually and import both the maxillary and the mandibular, but we also have the option for the system to intelligently guess what the files are named based on the first one. So I have a case here where the subparts have been prepared, so we can choose from it here.
Yeah.
So we will just choose a maxillary, and now we will see that the system will automatically identify the mandibular and also import that one. So now we only choose the maxillary, press open, and now it automatically finds the mandibular.
Nice.
Yeah. Let's try to append a CT scan as well. So we have a DICOM here. inside this case. So we'll go in here. You should make sure that this option is clicked where it will automatically select all the related images. So what we'll do now is that we will only click on the first one. And now it will intelligently find all of the other pictures based on the naming convention. So it will simply look through the directory and now choose them all automatically.
Okay,
for
so
you.
that will save you time selecting all of them basically.
Yes.
Okay.
And if there only are one file, then you can also choose that just one file.
Okay.
Then we will press next, and then we will get to a part that is covered in one of the other videos where you can now crop up the DICOM. We'll refer to that video for now to focus on our import and export.
Okay, excellent, thanks.
Yeah. That takes us over to our export section. Let's look into the export options. When we look at this from a patient level in the patient manager, there are several export options, namely these four mentioned here. They are also possible on a model set level. So let's cover it from in there because there are some additional options when we look at model sets.
Okay, so the export menu is different depending on the level.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we'll cover all the options, but from in here from the model set. The first one is called export to file. When we click on that, we have the possibility to export the FreeSC file that we in fact did an import on earlier. So that would be the exact format. If we did the import on patient level, then all the relevant metadata linked to that level will also be included.
Okay.
As you can see, we can specify a location where we could save it.
Yeah.
The next option is the possibility to export triage model without patched areas. And what that means is that the triage have the possibility to approximate surfaces where it almost have enough data to say, yep, I'm 100% sure about this surface.
Yeah. Wow.
But in some cases, you only want to have bomber-proof data that you are absolutely sure of.
Okay.
And this way you can export a triage scan where you make holes instead of these patch areas.
Okay, I see.
The next one is where you want to export to our CAD software called Cambridge, CAM software. It will contain some additional information on how the geometry is arranged. So if you look, for instance, at a splint, it will know about what is the inner and the outer surface. So if you're going to mill it later, then the drill will know which is the inner and outer surface, so it can do the finishing a bit easier. The advantage of this is also that you get to specify the location on where you want to save the files. We'll come back to later why this is important, or we might as well cover it now. The reason why this is nice is that if you choose instead to export the models where you also will just get the geometry out, then it will just dump the file inside the auto data folder, and then you have to go manually and find them afterwards.
Okay. Yeah.
So that's a little tip on how you can
circumvent that. Yeah,
exactly. The next one is where we have the possibility to export it in the ABO standard from the US.
Yeah.
So here it will package the data in a format specified and approved by ABO, so you can ship your files to them in the approved format. The next one is send to communicate. And that is how you will be able to ship cases to other parties over our FreeShip Communicate cloud solution.
Exactly, and we have a separate video on that.
Exactly. So if we click on that, we can then see that these are the sites that I have in fact added on this computer that are available and none other. But please go to the other video for details. Export models we covered. The last one is called export to table. And here it makes an XML table with all the metadata. So if you want to maybe pipe it into another third-party program, then you have the option to put it into a file format that is very easy to work with a third-party.
Like a practice management system or...
Exactly. It's possible to mark several cases and then still export them to a table. So you could make a mass export or mass import into the other system. So that sort of covers the export possibilities from outside the patient manager. Inside the auto analyzer, we also have some export options. If we go to the top right corner here, then we have an export model set option that we can click, and then various options opens. The Save as Virtual setup is already covered by the video we have for virtual setup, so let's concentrate on this Save model as. This is in fact the same option as you find out in the Patient Manager. So you have the possibility here to give a location where you want your exported files to go.
Okay.
The last one is also found out in the Patient Manager, where you can duplicate a model set. The last option is where you can save a new occlusion. So that covers the import and export options in the Auto Analyzer.
Okay, super. And that concludes the training video on how to import and export. So make sure to check out our other videos, and thank you for watching.